Welcome to the Waldorf GridIron Club Podcast, your home for all things football at Waldorf University, the best small college football experience in America. Hosted by Andy Buffington and me, Troy Thompson, from the secret bunker beneath Bolstorff Field.
All right, folks, welcome to this episode of the Waldorf GridIron Club Podcast. We are back rolling. We got guys on the practice field. We got coaches up in the offices and on the practice field, believe it or not, Troy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so we're just rolling. And our next episode, we're going to start bringing in players. I'm lining those guys up as we speak, and they're excited. And, I got hit up in the locker room tonight. When are you going to have me on the podcast? And so,
is that right?
Yeah, Gavin Johnson.
Oh, really?
So, Gavin, I know you're not listening to this. That's what we should do. We should make it a requirement that they listen to. They listen to the podcast. Like, hey, you want to be on the podcast? All right. Tell me what and then pick something out. What did Chase Paramore say when I say that you guys had your first season at Sagu was a losing record? Do you remember what he said, Troy?
Sure, damn did.
He did say that.
That's a very quotable phrase.
It is.
I still use that because I felt I've adopted it into my lexicon.
Wow. Big word. Adopted.
I took notes.
Yeah, you're good that way.
Took notes. Yeah.
But rolling down the train with getting to know our new coaches, we have last but certainly not least, we've got Coach Lamont Brown. Coach, how goes, buddy?
It's all good, man. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah. So now you've been in town a few weeks. Mm-hmm. You came from the East Coast, mm-hmm. right? Now, I got to be honest. So I generally do a lot of research mm-hmm. on our guests. And
you sure damn didn't.
I did not. Now, and the only reason that Coach Donadio, that was on our last episode, the only reason I did is because we were sitting in Coach Chapa's office, and he said, well, he'd never find any information on me anyway because I'm too old. Mm-hmm. Well, I took that as a challenge, and we found a little bit. And believe it or not, there are a lot of Lamont Browns in this world.
Yeah.
I tried North Carolina. I tried Coach Lamont Brown, and there's bajillions. Mm-hmm. But we've got the real deal.
Real deal.
Mm-hmm. Here,
That's
well,
right.
So, Coach, tell us a little bit about where you come from, how you got involved with football, mm-hmm. not just here at Waldorf, but in general. Like where you grew up, went mm-hmm. to high school, all your accolades, college, things like that. So,
all right.
Yeah.
So I began. I picked up football at the age of 4. I always wanted I didn't want to play flag, none of that. So I wanted the helmet. I wanted the shoulder pads. So I sent my parents out to go get me. I think the first one I had was a Cowboys uniform.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Buddy.
I was young and dumb, but
I was like America's team. They're really popular. Got a star on it.
95.
Yeah.
They won the Super Bowl in 95. That was the year I was born. So it was just right. My mom's a diehard Cowboys fan. But that was the first little helmet, shoulder pads, uniform that I had. Grew up in Suffolk, Virginia. So played football at Nansemond River High School. We weren't great, but I was a starting running back for 4 years. I started at 13 years old as a freshman. So all 4 years from there, I went to Morgan State University, where I was mm-hmm. two-time All-MEAC at running back. Graduated in 2016. Played a little bit of arena football in Kansas. I played for the Salina Liberty in Kansas, and then for the Cape Fear Heroes in Fayetteville, North Carolina for a little while. And I think I began coaching in 2018. So this will be my 6th season. But yeah, since I stopped playing, and I still had that desire. Like I wanted to be around the game. I feel like I owed it to myself and to, whatever players I could coach to, give them what I had learned. And here we are. I'm in Forest City, Iowa now.
So,
well, first of all, Andy, I got to jump back.
Please.
You said it was that moment when you said, I was born in 1995. Mm-hmm. And it was that moment where you realized, I have children that old. All right. Well,
oh man.
And then Lamont is when I was growing up, we had one Lamont. You said not a Lamont Brown, but we had a Lamont, and I'll never forget. Tony Dahl was my coach in baseball in the Parks and Rec League, and we had Lamont and on the team, and he would always say, Lamont. So do you mind if should I announce you that way?
You don't have to.
No, I won't.
You don't.
I won't.
No, no, that's not a.
That's the only other Lamont I know. Now I know two. That's way better.
Yeah, and Tony Dahl is a four-city icon. He's still an official at all sorts of high school stuff, things like that. He doesn't have the chops to come up and coach.
He's probably most famous for being as a part of the documentary of the Winnebago Man.
Oh, the Winnebago Man. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and his claim to fame is that
he's the one that sent it in.
Well, he left his underwear at Paddler's Tap one alumni tournament. So, that's a whole nother
Paddler's Tap hasn't been around that long. That's just
yeah.
I mean,
he's a grown ass man, and he's leaving his underwear.
Oh, hey, speaking of Paddler's Tap,
oh,
we need to bring folks in on this because I know lots of the Gridiron Club fans and members are very interested in our Wednesday coaches show that we've been doing with KIOW for the last 4 years. 4 years? Has it been? Literal started it, so it's probably 5 or 6 years old. Yeah. So every Wednesday in the season, there is the coaches show at Paddler's Tap, which is the tap house on Main Street, Clark Street in Forest City. Andy, when does that usually kick off? When does that start usually?
It starts at 7 p.m.
Thanks for letting me know because I'll be hosting this year, so a slight change in the lineup.
Yep.
Saren's got a young family to take care of now. That's a new development in the last year for him. So congratulations to Zaren, and I get to do it. I stood in one time last year, and I must not screw it up too terribly.
Attaboy.
So the Gridiron Club will be represented, and the coaches show broadcast on KIW and Facebook Live every Wednesday. But the fun part is, if you're in town or in the area, you need to come up on Wednesday night and be at Paddlers and hear what the coaches have to say. We always interview some players, talk to the head coach, talk to other coaches, and then it's always just fun to interact with the crowd live right there. So I guess that's a kind of a promotion. We definitely want folks to come out for that. It's a great time to get together. Also, we will be selling our cash prize where the ball lies contest. Yard line tickets. And we're doing it pretty slick now this year. Our former guest and of course Chains champion, the captain of the Chain Gang, Bruce Brookhoff, grandson on the team at Waldorf, said that the new way that we do it is slicker than snot, and I think that's pretty good endorsement. Listen, folks, you just do it online. You can do it now. We'll run a promo sometime in the midst of this program, so you'll have all the details how to do that. But it's real easy to do, and then it helps us out because then we can make sure that we've got everybody accounted for. So just in case you're not at the game for some weird reason on a Saturday afternoon, you win.
That shouldn't happen.
We can still get you.
Everybody should be at the games.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
But emergencies come up.
Like what?
I mean, could be something terrible.
Like you take a post pounder to the skull.
That's right. Our club president.
Happened right on live.
Lamont, we were doing a live broadcast. Wow. We were doing a live podcast, which just means that we were remotely located, and then it aired later at a game, and it was really fun. And in the background, our club president, Courtney Woogie, was pounding in posts to set up. It was the first game. It was the first game of the year, first home game.
Yep.
Knocked himself right in the noggin. Right in the noggin.
Staples.
Had a few stitches. It was a number.
Yeah.
Or whatever it was. Staple stitches.
Yeah, we got to actually go play-by-play live.
It was awesome. We didn't stop to help at all.
Absolutely not.
No.
There's nurses there.
Yeah, there were.
Yeah. So anyway, Coach, let's get back to what we're here about, which is
you.
You're the guy. So I'm interested because and I don't know if it's wholesale true, but I've really found that most of the guys that get into coaching, number one, they love the game, but number two, there was that influential coach that really to you, or maybe not, just kind of stood out as like, that's the guy. That's what gave me the passion. Tell me about that coach, if you got one.
So I shared this story with the boys earlier in camp. But I told him there was two things I actually never wanted to be in life, and that was a teacher and a coach. And I ended up being both of them. Because I didn't want to, you have teachers that will get the perception of a child and they will hold that against them forever. So I was like, wow, I never want to do that. I don't want to coach football because I don't want these kids to be out here without the same love for the game that I have and, all of this. And I'm like, I don't know what to do without coaching or being around football right now.
Yeah.
But for those coaches, man, I've had so many great examples of what you want a coach to be. So starting off for sure, Coach Donald Hill-Ely at Morgan State University, who recruited me to come there. I mean, he instilled in us so much. Like, he taught us how to be men for the ones that are away from home for the first time. He taught us, like how to, you're going to have to stand in for your family. You're going to have to stand in for your friends and really be there. And he taught us the game of football as well. As far as position coaches, man, Kenny Lucas, who's played at Delaware. I mean, going back to high school, Tracy Parker, going back to Pop Warner, Coach Desmond Brown. Like, I've had so many great men who have showed me, like, this is the way that you're going to conduct yourself when you're on this football field, when you're in life. And, man, I literally owe them all of this that I'm doing is for them.
I knew it.
Yeah.
Teachers and coaches.
Yeah.
So the teaching part, you said you're a teacher?
I did teach. So
you did teach.
First job I was first job-ish. I taught 8th grade social studies, and then the next year I taught 9th grade world history.
Nice.
So it got me in the building to be, around, just to be around the boys, be around football a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. So you're a history guy.
No.
Oh, you're not.
No. No. But they had a need.
There's a group of 8th graders and 9th graders that are now all graduated.
They're graduated high
school. No clue of what happened in history.
This is their first year in college. And I'm like, listen, I was there to teach life. We just had a history book in front of us.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice. Well, that's what history's for.
Yeah.
And that's what football is for, too. I always felt like some of the best, ideally, you want to have, in high school, you want to have a great teacher. Mm-hmm. That's what you're there for. Mm-hmm. And you also want to have a great coach if you're in athletics. Mm-hmm. It would be ideal if you could find the rarity of the person who is both. Right. To be both. But there is such a good crossover. Mm-hmm. It's not always like sometimes people get involved in teaching because they just want to coach. Yeah. And sometimes people, probably vice versa, or they're a teacher, they don't want to coach, but they ended up having to coach something. So, so there is life lessons in football. Tell me more about that.
Ah, man. Literally getting up and doing something that you don't want to do, man. Like, who wants to get up at 5:30 in the morning to go out and practice? But all throughout college in the springtime, we had guys who would schedule classes right, 1:50, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So we were up at 5 a.m. for practice on Tuesday and Thursday morning. Mm-hmm. It teaches you persistence, perseverance, man. It teaches you, like, sometimes you're going to have to nut up and you're going to have to be a man. And, man, it's literally the lessons that you learn on the football field can take you so far in life. And like I said, man, I owe a lot of great men credit for, being here, being the man I am today.
Is there another game, do you think? Neither one of you can answer this question.
Ooh.
Maybe.
I feel like a guest.
Maybe rugby. Maybe hockey. I don't know. Is there another game where a crucial part of the game itself involves pain?
Ooh.
And it's got to be a game, because I don't consider, you could say, well, MMA. But MMA is not a game. That's a contest between two people,
I don't think so. Like you said, maybe rugby, but everybody else, you kind of get to avoid it at all costs. Mm-hmm. In football, you're almost looking for it.
It's like the opposite of other sports too. Or there's no flopping in football.
No, well, come on, yeah, there is.
Well, maybe on the quarterback side or something, occasionally.
Kickers.
You don't really get a chance to run away from it.
Yeah, there's no flopping. Yeah. There might be, you're right, Andy, there might be some.
Sure.
But it's a joke in soccer, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're just the wind blew and they all of a sudden fall down and they're not even a good actor, so they fall down too late, and all of that stuff. You just can't, it's expected.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's the best part of being you were in padded football because you didn't want to do flag football.
No. I wanted,
right away, you got to learn.
When
you take that pop, it's fun to put it on and dress the part, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, and by the way, these are here for a reason.
Yeah. So I wouldn't say I hated it at first, but I was like, why are people hitting me? Like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing? Get away from me. But I ended up I was playing flag football. They had me playing center. When I first started playing tackle, I was playing nose guard and defensive tackle. So I was figuring out how to be a football player. I got to hit people. And then I think when I got to 7th, 8th grade, it was probably 7th. And I finally started getting the football in my hands. I'm like, okay, this is what I'm this is what I know. This is what I want to do. Like I want to score touchdowns. And once I started scoring touchdowns, I'm like, all right, I'm comfortable now. We can figure this thing out.
I bet you were a good nose tackle though.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can get in there.
Yeah.
Quick.
I was big. I was bigger for my age.
Okay.
So yeah, I was bigger for my age. So I was a little bit more stocky, smaller, shorter, of course. And I was pretty good.
Get in there.
Yeah,
the nose is a great job.
So I'd be interested, looking at the backfield that we have here at Waldorf, and obviously you've had time to get to know these kids and their style. If you had to say that, hey, there's a couple kids out there or one kid out there that really has the same running style and the same philosophy of being a running back as I did when I was coming up in college, who would that be?
It's crazy because it's one of our freshmen, and it'd be Rocky Ketchum. Like he's impressed us so much.
He's an athlete.
Yeah, he's impressed us so much throughout camp, man. Only difference between myself and Navi Hill, I think he's just a little bit smaller, so he might have a little bit more wiggle than I did.
He's shifty.
Yeah, he's very shifty. Sione, he can stretch you out and get up the field. And then Tay Buchanan, he's like a bigger back. So if I was to be probably 205, 215, I'd have been him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Rocky Ketchum is like, he has the athleticism. He's going to be that 3-down back. He'll catch the screen out of the backfield. And I think he reminds me the most of myself.
Yeah. And we had Tay on, I think he was our first episode of season 2. And, I've always said that Tay Buchanan is a hammer looking for a nail.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my gosh. The kid, and not afraid of contact, and he's a workhorse. And we have such an amazing backfield. Last year, we have we don't have a lot of question marks throughout our team, but really last year it seemed like the offense wasn't necessarily a question mark, but it's like there was a lot of what are we going to do? We didn't really know what we had, and this year we're just stacked.
Yeah,
I mean we are absolutely stacked. That the backfield, the guys out wide, our tight ends. We've got 4 out of the 5 starting offensive linemen coming back, and of course Jordan Cooper, and there's just a host of folks backing him up.
Yeah,
it's got to be pretty exciting. So, I guess even backing up to you just being in town a little bit.
Yeah.
So, have you ever been to Iowa before?
This was my first time when I parked my U-Haul truck. This was my first time being in Iowa.
Nice.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
So the town I moved from in North Carolina, Murfreesboro, North Carolina, it is a small city just like Forest City. So I'm automatically comfortable. I'm used to it being quiet. I'm used to it being, not too much going on, but it is it's almost like a carbon copy. So I've
really
enjoyed it. Yeah. Yep, I've enjoyed it, man. It's been nice.
Good. Well, I like that. I want to jump back to talking about taking the hits. So when you take the hit and you're in Pop Warner, and then you jump to the next level, and you jump to the next level. Now you're at your level, and you've obviously played at the college level, and you played at the arena level, and all that other stuff. So it's like, does that ever go away? Does it get? Are there still moments at every level, in your opinion? I'm interested more in when you jump from high school to college, and then even college to arena football, like where you take a pop and you're like, that's different. Or at that point, are you just like all pops are the same?
Yeah, no, people still hit hard. They still hit hard. From going to it's interesting because, like I said, I started on varsity as a freshman. Literally the first rep that I had, we had 2 running backs go down the same day. So I'm like, here I am. And the first rep I had, I think my helmet got twisted and my nose got bloodied. And this is during camp. So I'm like, y'all expect me to play through this for 10 games. So it worked out. When I got to college, I ended up moving because we had 13 running backs on the roster. So they moved me to slot receiver. And of course, one day I put my head on my shoulder, go catch an out route, and I get introduced to what a 220-pound man of a linebacker is. So
right.
All right.
Yeah.
And then get to arena, we had, guys are from all over the country. We are, and everybody's an athlete.
Right.
And we had about a 6'3", probably 215 safety come down and introduce me to what it was like to play arena football. So everybody, they hit hard at every level.
Right.
Thank God for a good helmet and a good pair of shoulder pads. But it's still, it still happens.
Nice. Well, I always wondered about that.
Yeah.
If they ever say, hey, no, they're all the same.
No, it is
not.
still,
there's a little bit of
Yeah, it's still real.
Welcome to the next level. Nice. Very good.
So I'm fine. As we're sitting here talking, I'm getting text messages, and he won't hear this until Friday, but you must do all the laundry.
No, I don't do all the laundry. We split it.
Because Coach Donadio is sending me all sorts of pictures and texts, like,
Oh, he's asking you questions about how to,
Yeah, and there's a dial on that for each different type
I've
of
seen
laundry.
the setup.
Oh, yeah.
It's impressive. To me, it's impressive because this is not, I don't know what people think of when they think of like washing uniforms, like just maybe like a laundromat and you're just putting them in a bunch of normal.
No.
It is.
They're commercial size.
Yeah, I think it's beyond commercial. I mean, it's something.
If we have any listeners out there that would really like, I don't want to give money, but I want to give stuff. Get us another washer and dryer.
Oh, that'd be sweet.
Because I tell you what, it's about like on a good day, it's 2 loads, 40 minutes or so each one. So yeah, Coach Donadio, he's relentless right now. He doesn't, Coach Brown, you're going to,
it's amazing.
I mean, have to coach him up. He's the oldest guy on staff.
This is funny to me that people are thinking like, this is about football. I thought we were talking X's and O's. I'm like, have you seen the machines that we use? If there was for the farmers that are listening, we got quite a few farmers that are in the GridIron Club that they like to listen to this. And if there was, I guess I would compare it to like a grain dryer system. I mean, it's maybe not quite that big, but it is definitely, I mean, this is not your commercial washing machine.
No, it's big stuff. You know, it can do a lot of stuff all at once, and
and it's based on. Am I wrong? It seems like sport.
Well, it is. Boy, we are going down a path that is.
I don't want to go down this rabbit hole too much, but I mean, people don't even. I totally forgot about this. Like we should have saved this for like a special episode at another time. Yeah.
I want to talk about what type of mix we. We're trying to make white uniforms white.
Well,
no.
Hey, give credit where credit is due.
Right.
That is amazing work.
Oh yeah.
All right. Anyway, so you guys split those responsibilities. It is amazing. It's amazing to me. I'm the same guy that watches YouTube and like they have the amazing machines.
Oh yeah.
I mean, and you're just going, well, that is pretty amazing. I mean, I'll watch that for 10 minutes.
You turn a dial, push a button, walk away, come back, put it in the dryer, do it again, over and over and over.
I thought there was something on the website though, Coach, with your not about. We're done with laundry.
Not about laundry.
Moving along. Yeah. I thought there was.
And Coach Brown occasionally does a few loads of laundry. Every other day.
Shelton, Connecticut.
Yeah. So
let's get to Connecticut.
So that's an interesting piece. So
let's talk about
with the introduction of myself and Donadio, I think the school got a little twisted. They used my professional resume instead of my football resume.
Is that right?
So I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
But before I got here, so I was working remote for a company based out of Connecticut.
Oh, okay.
Butler Aerospace and Defense. I was doing technical recruiting. So I was doing pretty much staffing for different aerospace defense companies.
That's what it says.
Yeah. So I did that.
A lot of stuff you can't talk about.
This is the Waldorf GridIron Club podcast. It's not the Waldorf Athletic Department media specialist podcast, because we've many times come up with some technical glitches on our website, which we have fun and mirthful tongue-in-cheek commentary about. It does say that.
Yeah, it gives us a good advantage, though, because, opposing coaches were not expecting us to hire a passing game guy who came from doing technical recruiting or was a high school teacher. So we should be good there.
Well, and the first time I met Coach, I'm like, oh, you're from Connecticut. He's like, no.
Not quite.
It says, as a technical recruiter for Butler America Aerospace LLC. Yeah. So our opponents do listen to this podcast because we're not the only one in our conference that has a podcast, but we are the best.
We are? Who else has one?
I don't know. I just assume that the other ones, there might be one out there.
Absolutely.
I do know that they listen.
How do you know that?
Well, you can see where people listen from.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You can see from
North Dakota, South Dakota.
Yeah, unless they're using like a VPN and for some reason in Mayville. But anyway, I just think they're probably thinking, oh my God, I know it's a new offense.
They're scrambling.
And they've brought a guy in from Butler America Aerospace. This is going to be a passing game situation. Right. We need to take a look at. Yeah.
All analytics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Kind of like Moneyball.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, you're the guy.
Mm-hmm.
You're the guy, Coach.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So Jonah Hill is in the back over at the I don't know, Salvesen.
Yeah, who on staff would be Jonah Hill in that regard?
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe Coach Ani?
No, our Jonah Hill in that particular situation was Chase Paramore. So who's our Brad Pitt? I guess that's the question. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go back and watch that movie.
Yeah.
Dang it. So, Coach,
are you keeping up with all this? Because there's a thing.
Oh, God, we are all over the place.
Yeah.
Coach. Sorry about that.
No.
So, why don't you talk a little bit about how you got from working as a aerospace recruiter and highly technical, super top secret guy to Waldorf? How'd that all go down?
So, one, thank God for Football Scoop, and thank God for Coach Chapa being persistent. So I'm sitting at my desk one day, and I am on Football Scoop, just looking to see what jobs are opening up. I'm applying.
During your break, of course.
During my break, of course. And I am, applying to jobs, and I'm like, okay, I see this job open. I'm like, cool. It sounds like a good opportunity. I feel like I have enough experience here to where I'd be good, in this capacity. So I sent Coach an email, sending my football resume and my professional, nice cover letter. Coach, how are you? I'm so excited. I feel like this is a great opportunity for me. Boom. I send this on a Wednesday or a Thursday. I think it's a Wednesday. Coach emails me back on Friday afternoon. Fortunately, we didn't work on Fridays. So I don't check my email. I check it on Monday, and I see his email. I'm like, oh, shucks. He's probably already hired somebody by now. I'm out of luck. So I just keep going. I'm like, well, I missed that opportunity. So hopefully somebody else will call me or email me. And thank God Coach calls me on like Wednesday. He says, hey, do you have any time to talk on Friday? And then he sends me a message on Friday like, Coach, I'm sorry I got busy. I'm like, oh God, he gave my job away. He was like, do you have some time to talk on Saturday morning? I said, absolutely. So I go to the gym and Coach sends me a text like, are you ready? I'm like, yes. He said, all right, cool. Give me 30 minutes. So I rush home and I'm pacing back and forth on my porch. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell him. I don't know what to say. And thank God, we have a regular conversation. Chop and I were actually in school at the same time. So we're playing college football at the same time. So we had that conversation. I'm like, cool. I feel good, man. I feel good about it. He's like, well, Coach, if you tell me that you're coming, and I'll go ahead and, I'm offering you the job if you tell me you're coming. I'm like, Coach, give me a couple of days, talk it over with my family. And if it works out, I'll be there. Fast forward 3.5, 4 weeks, I'm in a U-Haul on my way to Forest City, Iowa.
Nice.
Yeah.
I like how you can separate your job from, your personal life. Mm-hmm. So you're not working on Friday. You're not answering emails, you said. I bet that'll change, though, now that you're jumping back in. You're going to be a big part of the recruiting process.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to be on quite a bit. How is that going to go for you, recruiting?
It's fun. So I'll have, and don't get me, I will have some area in Iowa. I can't tell you which area. But I will have, I'm excited to get on the road to meet these 24s, 25s, man, and start building this program. Having the chance to bring our own guys in. Now, granted, the players that we have and that we brought in for this freshman class have been absolutely amazing. They've, tried to grasp the playbook. They've tried to get, grasp everything that we're bringing as far as team, community, and all of that. But having the chance to sit down, evaluate talent, and see what we want to bring into our program, man, it's going to be top tier. I'm excited.
Oh, absolutely. It is fun. It's got to be fun, I imagine, to bring, people into the program and say, that's my guy, that's kind of build your own team. That's the cool way to do it. Yeah. Yep. I like that.
Yeah. I'm super excited about the stable of coaches that we have right now. And one of the things I mentioned to you one day in the locker room, and we've talked about the same thing with Coach Donadio, is that the temper and the way that you handle these kids is kind of next level for us. Again, I'm not taking anything away from the coaches that we've had here. We've had fantastic coaches, hence the success here at Waldorf University. But philosophy-wise, in you're dealing with these young men and things like, just the aspects of coaching and getting them through life, what's your just general outlook on these guys?
I mean, first, before they're anything, they're men. And they're still, they're students. Like they're so much more than football players at the end of the day. And you kind of have to tap into that side of them you figuring out who they really are. Like I said, I didn't have a chance to recruit guys. Donadio didn't have a chance to recruit guys. Nally might have came in on the back end and, got his hand in the, in the mix a little bit of recruiting, but we didn't have a chance to go out and really meet these guys, meet their families a lot. So it's like we're figuring out from square one who they are. So getting a chance to figure out, what their likes are, what their dislikes, and then going into how they can be coached. Like you can't yell at everybody.
No.
You can't be physical, teaching everybody. So you have to figure out, what's going to make these guys tick and go there. Like I said, I've had amazing coaches. My first coach who taught me how to play slot receiver in college, BT Sherman, he was going to coach you hard. But then he would have those conversations with you when you thought you were getting too good or when you weren't playing good enough to kind of keep you some way of level-headed and grounded. And, looking back on it, he would cuss at you quick, but he also kind of kept it in perspective to where he was letting you know what the team needed from you and what he needed from you for you to be good. So I think back on those conversations. I'm like, man, if I can bring some of my own style to it, but still some of that he brought, introduced to me, then I think I have a pretty good style of coach. And I think for the most part, the relationships that I have with my guys that I've been able to build have been pretty good to this point.
Yeah. And I've seen that, out on the practice field, that it's not just, your specialty groups, that it's so many of the other kids, even on the defensive side of the ball that you're connecting with, and those connections change kids' lives.
Oh yeah.
And that's really what we're about here. And I think that you understand that. I think any good coach understands that. We want you to win football games, right, but we want you to graduate. We want you to go out into this world and be good employees, be good fathers, be good husbands, and be good citizens. Yeah. And that's really, at the end of the day, what it's about.
Yeah. Well, we always talk about, we recognize that the students at Waldorf College aren't all going to stay in Forest City. We'd love it if they did, but we understand they're going to go other places. And so they take a little bit of Forest City with them.
Right.
And that means they take a little bit of, whatever, if they're your player, they take you with them as well. And we're hopeful that their memories of our community and the program, and obviously all of their coaches are good for them for the rest of their lives, and they can use that in a variety of ways.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. I think, so what's your relationship now with Coach Ani? He's working on the offense. You're doing the offensive passing game and all of these other things. That wasn't just a joke with your background from Butler Aerospace. I mean, this is what we're doing. Wide receiver and so forth. How's that working without giving away too much? Because Ani's a big guy, and we always assume like he's going to figure out a way to run the ball.
Oh yeah,
and we've got the ability to do great things on in the air and on the ground.
We definitely. After my first conversation with Coach Chop, man, me and Ani had a chance to have a long talk about, what some of our philosophies were and what, we really wanted to do, what direction we wanted the offense to go in. And I think, with him being that run game guy or line guy, I'll say that he has done a great job kind of listening. He's done a great job of internalizing, the things that myself and Donadio brought with us as far as pass game goes. And he is he's very open to learn. He's very comfortable, with us giving him our input. With me being passing game coordinator, him being offensive coordinator, but run game, he's taken a lot of steps, and we've seen from, even just live calling stuff in practice to what our scripts are going to look like for the day, man. He's been really great.
Nice. Nice. I'm always, so both Andy and I, many, many years ago, come from the line side of the house. And I know, so passing, blocking on the offense is harder than doing the business and just like, I'm gonna create a space, I'm gonna open a hole and then I've got this great running back that's going to go through it, and I don't have to think about it for the next. I'll just go block downfield, you know.
Either way, I'm good. I'm safe if I block downfield. Right. Passing is that's a tough. You got to keep people out of the pocket, and man, and we've got some great competitors in our conference, and everybody tries to get on in there, and obviously we do the same thing. Yeah. So how do you build around that? Really, man, we have to do our job as coaches. We have to study. We have to watch the film. We have to see, what we're going to get on a weekly basis, which of course is going to change. But I think that we've done such a great job in putting, our pieces of this offense that I think opposing teams should have some issues trying to figure out, where we're going next with the ball. It's going to be so good to see, us run block, of course, but to see us pass block and pick up those protections and pick up those blitzes that the other teams are bringing, man, I think it's going to be a great job. It's going to be exciting to watch Waldorf football this season.
Well, it always is exciting for the GridIron Club to watch Waldorf football. We're always big advocates, obviously, of bringing folks out. We got our first game here, so this comes out on a Friday, a week and a day from today. We will be with the community night at home under the lights at Bolstorff Field. It's going to be exciting. I think that's Briarcliff, right?
Briarcliff,
Briarcliff is coming here.
The Chargers,
and we did beat them last year at their place, but it was not as easy as I thought it was going to be. Never is, I suppose. But obviously we won. It was but it was something that what are we looking at for next week? There will be an episode between the actual game. There'll actually be a coach's show and an episode before we get to the Briarcliff game.
You're spoiling the people, man.
I know we are. Really are. You guys are well covered.
Spoiling the people, man.
Yeah, well covered. Did you have that at Morgan State? You have a little podcast back in the day?
I don't think so. It just got, podcasting just got popular in the last couple of years.
Yeah. So it's been doing it since 2006.
Yeah, but from 12 to 16, maybe not. We might have.
No.
Don't give me a line, but
yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, well, you got one here.
Yeah.
So which is good. And so now obviously you're gearing up for that. We didn't get our scrimmage in, but now we got more time to practice.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
And how has that been working out?
Oh, it's been going good, man. Our guys they're definitely tired of hitting each other. They're excited to see some new faces come into town next Saturday evening. So we are, we're looking forward to it. We cannot wait for 6 p.m. on the 26th, man. We were excited. They're chomping at the bit. We're excited to get game planning in. We're excited to go through the whole game week process. And then, a Saturday morning comes through, get through that. And then Saturday evening, man, it's time to go.
And you'll have the opportunity to experience the Warrior Walk first time.
Warrior Walk. I get to see the world famous, call it world famous tailgate afterwards. Like I'm excited, man. I can't wait.
Well, we love the tailgate as well.
Who doesn't?
Andy and I love the tailgate. We love it so much, but we can't do much until after the game.
Right.
So everybody else gets to tailgate before the game on the gridiron. I got to work,
Yeah, you got to call.
You got to work,
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't know if you call it work.
A lot of people don't call what I do work, but either way, we still have to be somewhat responsible. So I always look forward to that. And we always are grateful for the folks that are out there on the north end of the field. You see lots of cars and trucks and Winnebagos, of course, that are out there.
Yep.
And Andy, got some news about that.
So you folks that like to come out and tailgate, we've been power deficient, electricity, if you will. So the GridIron Club has worked with
everybody testosterone pills.
Yes.
That'll take care of it.
Yeah. So what happened is that we saw a need. We know that folks like to plug in their crock pots and things like that, or maybe their radios. So what we did is that we partnered with a local electrical contractor, and we will be putting in electricity right along the south side of the tailgate area.
Yep.
So along that area, there's going to be, I believe, 4 posts that have
30 amp service? Is it 30
no, I don't
amp?
think it's 30 amp. I'm not 100% sure on that. It's not like an RV hookup.
Oh, okay.
But it is going to be something
Places
where
to plug in.
Places to plug in. And the thing is, so if somebody down the way has got a bunch of toasters and a microwave going, it's not going to blow everybody else's up. Everything is protected right there at those boxes. So they're going to get started on that this weekend. Mm-hmm. And if not this weekend, early next week, it'll be ready to go, folks, before the first game, to just kind of let's elevate the tailgate area a little bit.
Yeah, well, and that's the type of stuff that we've been talking about doing for quite a while, making the quality of the experience the best small college football program in America. That is something that obviously the fans are a huge part of, and why not get ready for community night in that way? And so, having places to plug in, having places to have that food ready, and just whatever it happens to be, we thought that would be a good investment. And look, it's another example of the things that the Gridiron Club does that offsets the cost for the university, which we love so much. Because the reality is that that's the Gridiron is paying for it. That's not ours. Like, that belongs to Waldorf, and and so when occasionally Ragbri rolls on through, Waldorf has the advantage of earning some funds from their showers, which they already have at the field house, but they also have some camping setups now because of what the Gridiron did, and et cetera, and all of the benefits that they have for the other sports as well. So everybody benefits from the things that the Gridiron Club does. It's the largest piece of the pie to make the biggest impact at Waldorf University and support the Warriors. So pretty excited to announce that. We've been working on it for a while, and we've done a lot of the legwork there and making sure that gets done. Now, we put ourselves out there. We said that that's going to happen, but let's keep our fingers crossed, everybody, because we love our electricians, our plumbers, our HVAC guys, and all of the contractors in the world, but sometimes
well, we're working with a really good.
We have a pretty good one. Yeah,
I will send. I'll send him. I'll send him a link to this podcast in an email.
Yeah,
so you might want to listen to this.
Yeah. Hey, this one, we're putting it out there. Like, there's a lot of people that know.
Yeah.
Can't say names right now, but just
absolutely.
Maybe if we did say name, then it would absolutely be.
No, we won't do that.
But we do want to give credit when the credit is due.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure
you get
works both ways.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, Coach. Talking about community night a little bit, obviously we're excited about it. You've never experienced it before. What are some of the things you've heard from the other coaches about the game day experience at Waldorf, and does it make it? We think it's exceptional, but what have you heard?
I've 100% only heard good things, like that it is in fact exceptional. That community night, you'll get your fireworks after the game. You'll get everybody out. The entire community is going to shut down and be there. Be in the stands for this this 6 p.m. game. So under the lights, seeing the stadium packed, seeing the stands full, seeing people walking around, and then getting outside afterwards, to the tailgate, the food, the fellowship I feel like it's going to be, and I've heard literally nothing but great things about it.
Well, that's good. And we're very proud of what we do here for the game day experience. And as much as it's fun for the fans, let's be honest, we do it for these guys.
Yeah.
We want to give them, again, we tout that we're the best small college football experience in this beautiful United States of America. And, we do it for the guys, so that their experience here is just a little bit extra.
Exactly.
You can say, because I'm sure when they started offering you, like, say, hey, why don't you come out to Forest City, Iowa and be a coach? You probably Googled Forest City, Iowa and said, where in the world is Forest City, Iowa?
Listen, man, I started Googling. First, I started looking at houses, and I was like, okay, wow, I can get a really nice house out here for pretty cheap.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, maybe I should probably see, how far it's going to be. I can probably get there 10 hours or so. And it was an 18-hour and 35-minute drive. I said, but I made it. I made it in about a day and a half-ish.
Yeah.
Probably slept 3-4 hours and then got up the next day and kept rolling. And, man, it was it was a great experience to get a chance to travel through the United States like that, driving, because I had flown to Chicago, flown to Illinois before, but had not driven through it. So getting a chance to do that.
Did you drive through Kentucky?
I came North Carolina, Virginia, West Virginia, Ohio,
Yep,
Illinois,
Indiana,
Iowa. Yep. So it was cool to see. It was nice to see. I ran into one really curvy stretch in West Virginia.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, and it scared me because you could see, I could see in front, but I couldn't see around the curve.
Right.
And I'm driving this U-Haul, and it's like there's a car flying around the curve. So I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna let y'all go. I don't want to tip because I know if I tip, I'm going all the way over.
So you're in a U-Haul truck.
U-Haul truck with my car.
And you're towing your car.
I am.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. Woo. West Virginia.
Yeah, exactly.
Mountain Mama.
Almost heaven.
Yeah. So it was one of them.
Jeez.
Little John Denver there for you.
Yeah.
But it was one of them, man. But I made it, I made it fine. So I was happy about that, excited to get here, and really got here for 1 week. And then we started camp. So got a chance to get some install, some playbook stuff done, and then, man, it was time to roll.
Yeah.
It's got to be a relief to roll out of West Virginia in that harrowing
100%.
situation and then roll into Illinois, Iowa. And you're like, well, this is just pretty straight.
Straight.
Yeah, nice. So, Andy, was it Coach Brown or was it Donadio that you were, when you told me, hey, we got a couple new coaches coming out, we'll get them on the show, and then you talked to one of them and did not have a lot of words, like seemed like he was super busy or just.
Oh, the first time I met Coach Brown was in Coach Ani's office.
Oh,
and talked to him, and you were reading something, and it's like, this guy is either just really quiet, which is really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fine with me. It doesn't matter at all. But it's like, he's dialed into something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, first week
so it was you
probably.
Yeah.
And first week, like I got here. When I get here Monday, so I got here Monday evening. So I was in the office Tuesday morning. And I was like, man, we got guys coming back next Tuesday. So I'm like, the entire first week, I was either sleeping or had my head down in the playbook trying to figure out, what we were getting ready to do. And it was, that first week, I was so glad to be out of it because it was like, all right, I finally get a chance to like relax. I didn't put my bed up. So I slept on the couch or the air mattress. I was like, listen, I just can't be bothered. I got so much other stuff I got to do.
It's like a theme.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. Yeah. So I got all that stuff done. And I was like, man, just to be out of this first week, to be a little bit more settled. And I told Coach, I'm like, listen, man, y'all got me in Iowa now, so you don't have to worry about me going nowhere. Now just tell me all the good, tell me the bad, tell me where I need to go, tell me where I don't need to go, what I need to do. And, let's just get this football stuff done. And that was kind of the most exciting part.
I love it.
Yeah. Who was the first player that you got to meet after you were here?
First player, I think, was Nico Page.
Oh, man.
Yep, I think Nico was one of the first ones to come up to the office. I think Will came up after that. And then when players start coming in, Tay Buchanan came up to the office, and then, just guys filtering in. I don't know any names. I'm just seeing faces. I'm like, all right, I guess I'll see you again at some point. So, we'll learn who you are eventually. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now, one of the things I've been really impressed with this year, and it seems to get better every year. I remember my first year in the locker room. After every practice that first week, I had a bunch of helmets and shoulder pads and laundry loops and practice clothes to put away. We've had very few kids step away from the program, which is a really good thing, because we want them here if we recruit them, obviously.
Yeah.
But I think this year is probably the lowest I've ever seen with people that maybe they might be incoming freshmen or something like that didn't know what to expect, and the game's a little too fast, a little too hard. And that's fine. You got to make your own decisions and respect any decision that you make. But, that's one of those things that talks a lot about our coaching staff and getting that buy-in. That's one of the things that I see with our kids seem to be really, really coachable. Mm-hmm. Are you finding that as well?
Yeah, we have, like I said, man, we got guys that even though we didn't recruit them, I think they finally get a chance. They're getting what they want out of their coaches. We have a lot of guys who come in, from these high school programs where either they were the man, or some of the guys that even weren't necessarily the man at their program, but they get a chance to come in and compete. And I think, throughout camp, man, we've been pretty fair, or try to be as fair as possible with the reps, guys getting some work in during practice. But of course, now as we go into game planning for week one, that's going to dwindle down a little bit. But these guys, man, they've gotten a chance to compete. They've got a chance to put a lot on film. And, especially after, this class of seniors, once November comes and the season's over, man, these young kids get a chance to come in and start competing for these starting jobs, these second jobs. So they are everybody's excited, and it's been really good to see even some of the growth and development for this 2 weeks that these kids have been on campus. Like, it's been amazing to see, how much they've grown up. They've gotten, some advice from some of the older players in the locker room, and they've, kind of in the middle of that shift from a boy to a man.
Yeah.
Waldorf starts earlier than most colleges, takes a big break prior to Thanksgiving all the way through the new year. So that's a unique feature of the university. Clearly what Andy was talking about is good recruiting, making sure that, because look, there's plenty of Division III programs and other programs that are out there. I won't go down that road, but I'm just saying, there's a program. If you want to play a sport, there's a program for you out there. Like, but the difference is, you get to that football camp, that fall camp, they show up the beginning of August. It's the same thing across the nation. And then there are kids that are there and they're like, well, I mean, I was a pretty good player on my team, but it turns out they find out pretty quick that they're a small fish in a big pond. That's a good thing for them to learn. How they react to that is important. And you do see a loss in roster numbers. What is our roster number this year? Do we know? And then how many? You said not. We haven't lost very many at all. And because I've seen in years past where, we'll have maybe 130 people come in, and then you lose 20.
Right.
Or sometimes you lose 30. And I've seen programs, and that's not just Waldorf. I mean, I across Northeast Iowa, for example, they'll be saying, well, we're losing 30 kids, and it's just like, well, that's a waste of time for the recruiting process of the coaches who are out there, and getting these kids to come and buy in and all that stuff. So having them stay there, that means that you're getting talented people that are bought in, like Andy said, and it's also they understand what the process is.
For sure. Yeah. So one of the things you had mentioned earlier, Coach, is
we don't know what the number is, what the roster number is. That is the sound of a garage door opening, by the way, in the bunker, which is weird. Yeah, we have a garage door in the bunker.
Oh, don't give away the secrets.
Yeah,
everybody's wondering.
Yeah.
So, Coach, just going back a little bit, one of the thing you talked about is that when you took the job, you said you had to tell your family. How did that go?
I promise you, my mom will probably find a way to hear this podcast.
Absolutely.
She found a way. I mean,
all podcasts.
She sent out the article introducing the coaches before I got a chance to see it, before I got to read it. Yeah. So she'll probably find a way. But I told my dad first. I said, so I'm probably going to take a job in Iowa. And he said, Iowa? Because we had talked before about one of the interviews I went on, and I was telling him, well, it's not that great of benefits, not that great of pay. He was like, I think you should sit this one out, buddy. But with this one, my decision was pretty much made already. So I told my dad, I'm like, I'm probably going to take a job in Iowa. So he started, looking it up, and I was kind of not listening to anything else they had to say. I'm like, I can't let you, you can't talk me out of this one. Like, my mind's made up. I told one of my line brothers, I was like, because he coaches as well. I'm like, yep, I'm probably going to take a job. He was like, is Iowa city or a state? Like, what? And I was like, yeah. So he explained it to him. Explained it to him.
Both.
Yeah. So my mom came down to my house on a Sunday. So we go out to dinner. I'm like, yeah. So she asked me about her birthday. Her birthday's August 4th. She was like, yeah, I want to do something. I was like, okay, well, we can do it, if I'm here. She's like, if you're here, where you going? And I said, I'm probably going to take a job in Iowa. I'm thinking about it. She's okay. Well, let me know. And then, of course, that week when I had finally, made up my mind, called Coach Chapa back and was like, yep, Coach, I'm going to do it. I called her and she acted like she'd never heard, like, Iowa. What do you mean you're going to Iowa? I said, well, yeah, we talked about this the other day. Do you not remember? She's like, yeah, but, you say stuff. I'm like, okay, well. I was like, but yeah, I mean, they were, once I told them that this is what I was going to do, they were fully supportive, invested.
That's great.
My mom came down, she packed, helped me pack my house up and did everything, everything I needed her to do. Cried like a baby as I was leaving.
No, I imagine.
Of course, she
get it.
It wasn't bad though, man. They've been nothing but supportive throughout this whole process.
That's great.
Yep.
Are you an only child? You got siblings?
I have a sister. I have a younger sister. She works at New Mexico State. She is their director of football academics.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, everybody, is in, well, my mom, my sister, and I are in higher ed before I got here as well. I was working as director of admissions. Director of advising, at a community college in North Carolina. So all of us were in higher ed. My dad is a pastor in
Nice.
Seattle, Washington. Yep, he's a pastor in Seattle, Washington. So yeah, we still pretty tight in the family. It's the four of us, and we rocking and rolling.
Excellent. Excellent. Family's everything. While you're here, you're our family. And let's be honest, Coach, you always will be, I was texting with the former head coach here for a short amount of time, Coach Paramore, the other day. He's down at in Commerce, Texas right now. So, you're going to build these relationships with members of the community, as well as obviously that staff. You guys get really tight knit, which is really cool to see from an old guy's perspective, because I'm probably about your parents' age, so kind of the dad now.
Yeah.
And I was really disappointed. Coach Christensen, he was the guy around for quite a years. He's the oldest guy associated with the team. He came in and helped, and I haven't seen him around. So you know what that makes me?
You're the oldest coach.
I'm not a coach, but
They call you coach.
Well, and I've told you that story before when Coach Henry, when I started with the team, he said, "Come on in," and we were doing equipment handout, and Sean Henry, he's the defensive coordinator at Doane University now, and
he was on our first episode.
He was on our first episode, and so Coach Henry, he's introducing me as Coach Buffington to everybody, and when it was just he and I said, "Sean, not a coach," and he said, "It doesn't matter; they ain't gonna remember your name."
Yeah, that's right. Hey, Coach.
So, yeah, it's just easier for the kids. Hey, Coach.
Yeah, that's true. I think that your family, dad's a pastor, and out in Seattle. So what, if any, I hope that there's some, but what role does faith play in your growth, development, and actions as a coach?
And it's huge. It's huge. I told the guys a story about how I felt like me not being obedient and me trying to make myself bigger than another man, how God kind of sat me down. I was like, all right, now I'm gonna make you watch. And I'm gonna make you watch, what everything that would have been for you happened to somebody else. So it's huge, man. I feel like, I prayed to God and asked him, if this is my time for me to be a college coach, if this is my time for me to make this transition, then you'll make it happen for me. And, he made it happen for me. And granted, I had, I feel like I had done everything I needed to do in North Carolina with high school football, except, win that state championship. And we were close a few times, but I feel like now is like the perfect time, if any, for me to make that transition so I can start, doing what's best for me. And if this is going to be, my career path, which I pray that it is, and I feel like I'd be, a great, asset to any team, especially to the Waldorf University Warriors, then, man, I feel like, God led me here for a reason.
Well, your dad will appreciate if he listens to this program, which sounds like he will, and mom and everybody else in the family. Take a check back about a year ago, not a little less than a year ago, to the homecoming episode. We had David Bolstorff on. And,
yes, we did.
The football field is named for the longest-serving head coach of the Waldorf football program, David Bolstorff. But his that was Title B. His Title A was he was the Waldorf chaplain. So he was a minister, and he was here, and that's actually why he came to Waldorf, was to be the campus chaplain, and had played in some, I guess, minor league. I don't know what you call it.
He played in college.
Yeah, he played in college, but then he also played a little semi-pro stuff, and then in football back in the 60s, and then came here as a young man and helped out. And then the head coach had a heart attack, and he became the head coach.
Next man up.
Yeah, he was.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, one of the things I've noticed
I'm not going to edit that pause out. It was very dramatic.
Oh, yeah. One of the things I've noticed is Omega seems to be something for you. Tell me about that.
The Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. It is, it's a big part of me. My father, my grandfather are both members of the fraternity, man, and it is, it's done great things for me, and I feel like I've done great things for it as well. Leaving home, leaving my chapter at home, man, they were so supportive about, sending me out here, the well wishes, the congratulations. And I'm excited to build, with some chapters in, Des Moines, in Ames, everywhere else in Iowa. And hopefully, man, before I leave, can leave an imprint of Omega on this campus.
Yeah. So just tell us a little bit about that fraternity.
Okay. So it was founded November 17th, 1911 at Howard University in Washington, D.C. Mm-hmm. We are over 750 chapters worldwide. We are, we're all about our 4 cardinal principles of manhood, scholarship, perseverance, and uplift. Doing what we can for others, doing what we can for our community, doing what we can in the schools, man, and just excelling, just doing what we can to leave our mark. Big on community service, pretty much, man. Anywhere that anybody that needs a helping hand, or anybody, pretty much in every field, there is an Omega man behind it.
That's wonderful. And I think that our communities everywhere need things like that. They need that those men driven for purposes higher than themselves. Absolutely. At all times. So that's wonderful. And I hope that you have nothing but success.
Thank you so much.
And that's wonderful. Now,
so Omegas, that's the last letter in the Greek alphabet. So if you're an Omega man, you're the last man standing.
Well, I'm the Alpha and the Omega. We know who that is.
Mm-hmm,
so,
mm-hmm. Wow. All right. It's Omega Psi Phi,
mm-hmm.
but Psi is with a P.
PSI, yes, sir.
PSI. I spelled it right. PSI.
Oh, I know you did. Yeah, you taking your Greek.
I did.
Good job.
So it's OPP.
OPP, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So one of the things we ask everybody is that, so right now in this part of your life, Coach, you're football and football and football and football, a little bit of eating, a little bit of sleeping,
a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
When you have moments to yourself, mm-hmm. what do you like to do?
If you ask the rest of the staff, they'll tell you that I might be lying, but I do go out to the golf course and swing my clubs a little
mm-hmm.
bit.
All right.
Not too bad, not too good.
Yeah.
But I can get you. I'm going to get you from the tee. I'm going to get you in a good spot. If we're playing scramble, you'll love me. But if we're playing, if we're just playing head up, we might be out there for a little while.
Right.
But I mean, it's me and we're in Forest City right now. It's me and my dog. So you'll probably see us walking. We'll go take her up to campus, walk her around a little bit. Other than that, man, regardless, if I had not been a football coach, if I had not been a coach at Waldorf, I would be spending my time on the weekends watching football, watching film, doing that anyway. So, I mean, big football guy, big sports guy in general. I like to work out. I like to go. I'll go bowl. I haven't been to the movie theater yet, but still want to go in there. But really, man, now I'm just trying to figure out, what I can do around here in Mason City and get, try to find some new interesting things.
Yeah, what is like the movie here is like $4.
Mm-hmm, yeah, it's
like
pretty reasonable.
$4 or $5 for adults.
Yeah.
What kind of dog you get?
She's a pit and a rot mix.
Okay.
Brindle color,
nice.
And what's her name?
I love
Brandy.
Brindle.
Brandy.
Brandy?
Mm-hmm.
She's a fine girl.
Yeah. She's a fine girl. Yeah. I mean, there's so many great references here.
I'm telling you.
Things that are before you were born.
Yeah.
Brandy, you're a fine girl.
That's true. And and Troy, when you were saying
I think even OPP is prior to that. That's like 1992. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You know me. God, we're aging ourselves way too much, man.
We have like our audience is about our age, so everything's okay.
That's true.
Yeah,
that is absolutely true. Yeah. So I'm wondering. Mm-hmm. This is kind of a theme. The last 2 guests we've had.
Okay.
Did Coach Chapa talk to you about golf prior to offering you the job?
He didn't. So when I got here, he saw my he saw my clubs in the back of the U-Haul. He was like, "Oh, you play?" I was like, "Yeah." And then I think Oni might have asked me first. Then Chop came up. He was like, "Oh, you play?" I was like, "Yeah." I swing my clubs a little bit. I was like, I never lied. I told you I swing a little bit. I did go out. I pretty much got out once or twice a week this summer. I was like, "Yeah, I play a little bit." And then when Donadio got here, he was like, Oh yeah, so we finally got, we can finally go out and play together as staff. I'm like, okay, let's go. But yeah, they really, Chop really plays.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, Chop really plays. Donadio plays. Donadio really plays too. And the rest of us are kind of just there. Moral support. We'll give you a good. We'll swing good every once in a while. Every 2 or 3, 4, 5 holes.
Okay, so you got. Obviously, we know Chapa is a good golfer. Coach Donadio, you're no slouch yourself because of just that repetitive muscle memory. So that leaves Nally, Ani, and Gould. Of the 3, who's the best golfer?
Gould.
Okay, all right. And,
hey, he'll surprise you.
Here's the thing:
he's the best hay thrower too. I didn't even know that.
The best what?
Hay thrower. I had those guys. They helped me out.
Oh, okay.
Throw some hay this year.
Okay.
He's probably heard the story. Don't go out to Troy's. You're going to end up baling hay for 4 hours.
Yeah.
It's a whole nother story. That's on a different podcast, or the same podcast, different episode.
Got it.
Yeah, absolutely. So our time is starting to wind down, Coach. I'm looking forward to the season. I'm sorry. Tomorrow we're 10. Well, we're doing this on a Tuesday. Yeah. So we're going to be on Wednesday. The countdown is 10.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping I continue to sleep well for the next 10 days. But I'll tell you what, the 25th of August is going to be a tough night to sleep. Just because there's not unknowns, but it's to see how the greatness is going to come together and destroy the Chargers.
Yeah.
Right.
Probably about tomorrow, it'll start getting like that 10-day countdown gets tough because it's like, all right, you still have time, but it's like the game is literally tomorrow. There's no time. So yeah, probably start losing sleep a little bit tomorrow. It'll be those 2 o'clock wake ups like, here we are. Try to watch film, try not to be up, until your alarm goes off at 5. And then, man, as we get shorter and shorter and shorter, that Friday night is going to be like, all right, well, I slept from 10 to 11. Now let's be up until 11 o'clock tomorrow night. Cause it's no resting. It's no sleeping. Like you're trying to rest your mind as much as possible, trying to be as sharp as possible and on point for game day.
Yeah.
I mean, you do a walkthrough on Friday, a game's on Saturday. At that point, it's in God's hands. Yeah. You need to, you've done your coaching. The players have done their prep. All of the work that happens in any sport is always done in the off season. It doesn't happen during the actual season. So if they were lifting, if they were, improving their speed and their quickness, agility, all of those things, which I think that they we're going to find out very quickly come Saturday. And how the offense comes together and the defense and all of those things that we've been looking forward to once again. We're just excited to see it. And I'll just extend an invitation to all of the football teams in the area. I mean, the high school season starts the Friday night prior to your game.
Oh yeah.
They're all out there and wherever they happen to be. I know that some of those people that will be on the field for the fireworks on community night will be the Forest City team, and I know that Lake Mill sometimes is around, and some of the other programs that are in the area. By all means, come on out.
Oh yeah.
Watch the game, enjoy yourself. The entire North Iowa, Southern Minnesota community is welcome and should come out to this game. We've said this for a couple of years now, Andy. Yeah. You can go to an Iowa State game, Minnesota, whatever it happens to be.
It won't be the same.
But you can come to a small town, have a great atmosphere, watch great football, and have a great tailgating experience, have a great community experience, all that stuff right here in Forest City, and that's what's made it so special.
Yeah, we're definitely looking for for game day visits. We're trying to get players out. So coaches with any 24s, that are coming out this year, 25s that will be juniors this year. Definitely, please come out, man. See a game, come experience, a game day with us, and hopefully, man, we can see you in Forest City in the next year or two.
For sure.
I'm not going to sleep. And I try for the years that I've done this. Friday night is when I put the locker room together. You make sure the helmets are all in the right, hang in the right way. You make sure that it's cleaned up because we have recruits come in to look at our locker room as well. And I gave up on staying late on Friday. I get the jerseys and the pants and all that stuff out, and make sure the helmets are good to go, because I know I'm going to be up at 4:45 on Saturday morning. Right. So there's no sense staying in bed. Go make the pot of coffee, eat a little bit of something, go in for a few hours, then you can do all the detail work, because I'm not sleeping. It just ain't going to happen. And we're super excited about this season getting underway, folks. By the time you're listening to this, we are 8 days away. This is going to air on a Friday, and in 8 days, I said this last week, call 10 of your friends and say, you got to get to Forest City, Iowa to watch the Waldorf Warriors take the field against Briarcliff at 6 p.m. Bring your family sometime after 2, and there's bounce houses, there's face painting, there's all sorts of stuff going on. There's the tailgate. The Warrior Walk, I'm not sure what time that is. I'm guessing somewhere around 3:30, 4 o'clock. We'll publicize that. That is a great experience for the people as the team marches down onto Bolstorff Field for the first time of the year. And we prepare to do battle with the Chargers from Briarcliff over in Sioux City, and we just cannot wait. So after you call 10 of your friends, say, hey, call 10 other people that you know, and let's get 3,000, 4,000 people at Bolstorff Field on August 26th, folks.
Right. And by the time that happens, we're going to be announcing 4 times who won at the end of each quarter.
The cash prize
where the ball lies.
That's right.
The only way that you can win is you gotta buy a ticket, or you can buy as many tickets as you want. And so again, you can there's information. Listen to the end of this broadcast, and we'll have info on that, how to do that. Clear instructions. Also, Wednesday night, you come out and visit us at the
Adler's Tap
for the coaches show.
7 p.m. Get there early. Get there about 6:30ish, and
help you register there.
Yeah. Absolutely, we'll be ready to go. Cannot wait. So, Coach Brown, thank you so much for taking a little bit of time. But one of the things we always like to do for our guests is we like to give you the last word. So if you have any wisdom or anything that you'd like to say, now's your time. The microphone is yours, young man.
I wouldn't say wisdom. I wouldn't say wisdom.
I would.
Maybe. It all depends on who you ask. But, man, I'm excited to be here. It's going to be a great year for the Waldorf Warriors. I can't wait for you all to see this product that we put out on the field. These guys have been working so hard. You know, the job is not hard for them. It's hard for us to try to put them in the right positions, man. They literally get to go out and do the best part, which is go out and play and run around and have fun. But yeah, it's going to be a great season, man. We're looking to come back in the season, man, with a conference championship and with a ring on our finger. So, yeah, y'all come out and see us. It's going to be a great year.
Well put, Coach. I cannot wait. Like I've said 17 times here in the last 3 minutes. Folks, if you're listening to this, if you're within the sound of my voice, make plans, mark it on your calendar, do what you need to do to get out and watch the Waldorf Warriors take the field for the first time in 2023 against the Briarcliff Chargers, 6 p.m. at Bolstorff Field. It's going to be so much fun. You just got to come experience. I just really can't talk about it very much. So again, we want to thank our very special guest, Coach Brown from
Lamont.
Virginia.
Suffolk, Virginia.
Yeah.
Nice.
Not Connecticut, I'll tell you that,
It is
Waldorf.
not Connecticut.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to do better. Well, anyway, thanks everybody for listening to this episode of the Waldorf GridIron Podcast. Thanks, Coach Brown, for taking time out of his very busy schedule to come on in here so that you can get to know him better. Say hi to him when you go out onto the field after the game on Saturday the 26th and get to know him. He's a wonderful human being. And thanks so much for listening to this episode, as I've said at least once. And forever and always,
go Warriors.
Hey there, Gridiron fans. Troy Thompson here with all the details on how to register for this season's cash prize Where the Ball Lies contest. Now, last year, the Gridiron Club awarded $1,000 in cash prizes to our fans who registered for the cash prize Where the Ball Lies contest. This season, we're doing it again, and it's even easier to register than ever. All you have to do is click on the link in the show notes and register for one or more random yard line assignments. Now, there are 5 home games this season at Bolstorff Field, and at the end of every quarter, wherever the ball is placed when the whistle blows, that will indicate who is the winner of $50 from the Gridiron Club. Winners will be announced at the end of each quarter, and if you're present at the game, you can come to the press box to collect your prize. If you're not at the game, no worries. will send your prize to you. There are 20 chances to win this season, and registration is just $25 per yard line. Now, there are only 100 spots available, and you can buy as many yard lines as you want. But you have to act now, because those yard lines get snapped up fast. Yard line assignments are on sale right now, so go to the link in the show notes and register, pay, and get ready to win with the Warriors. Once you complete your registration online, you'll receive a receipt in your inbox. If you are buying yard lines for more people than yourself, say family members, friends, whatever, well, if you're doing that in one order, you want to be sure to include each person's first and last name in the additional registrant box and how many yard lines each person is to get. Now, your receipt will show only your name on the tickets, but we will add your additional registrants to the yard line assignments and confirm with you by email. Platform management is hosted by Constant Contact. Processing is handled securely by WePay. Sunnyside Farm Studios, and my contact information will appear as the event organizer on your receipt. For questions, just contact me at troy@sunnysidefarmstudios.com. We'll email your yard line assignments to you by Friday, August 25th. Register now in the show notes by clicking on the link. All proceeds do go to support the Waldorf University football program. Folks, it's never been easier to register, so do it today. Registration closes August 24th, 2023 at noon Central Standard Time. All transaction fees associated with the registration are included in the price. For prizes awarded to individuals that are not present on game day, just allow 10 business days for delivery via standard first-class mail. The Waldorf GridIron Club is a 501c3 nonprofit organization dedicated to the Waldorf University football program, the best small college football experience in America.
You can join the Waldorf GridIron Club and be part of the best small college football experience in America.
Just visit our website and pick your membership level. Find us and everything Waldorf GridIron Club related, including professional photos, at waldorfgridironclub.org.
You can also click on the Support the Show link in the show notes to donate.
And you can even use the United States Postal Service by sending your check to the Waldorf GridIron Club, P.O. Box 125, Forest City, Iowa, 50436.
It's tax exempt, hassle-free, and has a level for every budget.
That's right. Anyone can join, even our rivals.
Show your colors. Join the GridIron Club today.
Get it?
Got it. Fantastic.
The Waldorf GridIron Club Podcast is hosted by Andy Buffington and me, Troy Thompson. Produced by Sunnyside Farm Studios in beautiful rural Forest City, Iowa. Platformed by Buzzsprout and music by Soundstrike. The Waldorf GridIron Club is a 501c3 nonprofit organization dedicated to the student athletes of the Waldorf University football program. Our mission is to assist the program in maintaining the best small college football experience in America.